everybody, welcome to the last episode of Season 1 for VIDEOCHILD. I'm your host, Oliver, as I have been every single time. If you're new here, you should probably head back a couple of episodes, and I'll meet you back here. Welcome back to VIDEOCHILD. This is the last episode of Season 1, super exciting. A tutorial focused on helping you discover your photography style, which can transfer to film as well. If you like my content so far, this should be everything you need to know to start your own personal journey in camera art. I did want to say a huge thanks to my audience before diving too deep into this episode. My portrait video hit over 1,000 viewers, and it's only been out for like 5 days. There's lots of comments on that video, lots of support, and it just warms my heart to see you guys connecting with my art. You guys are just being supportive, and it's awesome to know that something I made was hopefully able to help a few of you out there. It's been an absolute reward hearing your feedback, so thank you so much. Now, on this same topic of love and support, it is officially Pride Month, and here at VIDEOCHILD we are all about love and respect. Who knows better than the open-minded people that celebrate Pride? Thank you so much for showing us pride, for showing us tolerance, for showing us acceptance. On the VIDEOCHILD store, if you wish to support us further, we do have Pride Month merch. A link is down below if you want to check it out. However, just because it was released this month, our priorities and values remain the same. So this merchandise will remain on the site indefinitely. Thank you for being yourself, and please do yourself a favor and thank yourself out loud right now. Thanks, Ollie. You do more for me than I ever realize. Now, before getting too carried away, I don't want you guys to get this feeling that this show is over, or that you have to rewatch Season 1 anytime you want to brush up on your camera basics. I plan to vlog and go on photo shoots with you. We can go in depth to my process on the scene. This way, I'll compile the information we've gotten so far and show you how it should look in real time. Hopefully that sounds fun to you, and I hope I'll see you guys at that time, but for now, let's just focus on today's tough topic.
Come by 1:45, I can meet you outside. Count stacks, pack my bags, and tell my mother goodbye. Now tell me what to do. I change my clothes, I look just like you. Tell me, baby, is it fun? Stop at the light, tell me to run. I like you more than life, so drive like a kissing at your wrist.
So a couple years back, I worked on a music video for a rapper named Ivan B, a song titled Remains.
What are you thinking to yourself right now? Crikey! Crikey!
And while I was on this set, I worked for a director named Cameron Gade. And this man gave me an invaluable lesson on my day there. Being really cold, and we had to get this one last shot, and we had to make it look like daylight in the middle of this basement in the pitch black night. It was like 2 a.m. or something like that. He turned to me and gave me this perfect piece of advice. Filmmaking at its core is problem solving. And ever since he said that, I've never looked at it the same. He taught me that everything had to be in its perfect spot. Not that it was perfect, like a perfect shot, but how we envisioned it before going in. He taught me not to settle for your shots. Make sure that you get everything right. Your exposure, your model's position, all the props, all the lights, everything had to be fine-tuned until it looked like even better than they had imagined or exactly where they needed it to be. So yeah, don't settle. Work it, tweak it until you get something as good or better than how you imagined it. This really propelled me forward in my work after I got back home. It taught me to be precise even in stages I hate and dread. Setting the exposure right on your camera, especially every time you move scenes, like it's annoying, but you gotta do it if you want that good shot. The nitty-gritty stuff, just sound design, color grading, scripting, and storyboarding, all of these things can be really boring at times. This really reminded me of how hard it is to do the nitty-gritty when you don't have a sense of direction. And direction is found in style or formula. So this begs a tough question on everyone's mind. How do we find our own branding? Something that's unique and completely different than anyone else. But I'm going to teach you a really fun and cool formula that I was taught early on in my hobby, career, whatever, my meddling with cameras, but it helped me exponentially. So, fingers crossed, this can do some wonders for you as well. The idea is this: copy, transform, and combine. So, you basically do the first 2 steps twice in a row, and then you combine your 2 ideas at the end. And that's what you get for your original idea. So nothing is really new. Everything has been done to death. That's why we have cliches. That's why we have repetitive things in our culture, within our movie making, our photos. We see things that are similar all the time. Nothing is new. So to create an original idea is you copy someone else's idea straight from, you can trace it as far as you want. But then you do step 2, transform, and you just tweak it a little bit, just the tiniest bit. You tweak it just to however you want, to just make it a little bit more yours. Then once you have 2 of these tweaked ideas that you've copied and twisted around, and you combine them, you get your original idea. So for me, I have another channel called Load the Cartridge, and how I came up with it was my original idea formula. A reaction channel, I just copy that idea, but then I tweak it. I do it with friends, or I do scary stuff by myself. Then I take another idea of this nostalgic retro vibe, but then tweaking it to the feeling of like taking a Nintendo cartridge, blowing the ever-loving shit out of it, and then putting it back into your console. Loading the next cartridge is my term in that channel of saying skip to the next episode. So you combine those 2 ideas and you get my Load the Cartridge channel. You get those vibes, that mood. Or for my scary podcast, Creep Cottage. Idea 1, I wanted to talk about horror stories, but I wanted to make it interesting, so I tweaked it a little bit. Instead of just horror stories, I have a co-host and we surprise each other with what we found every week. I don't know what they prepped. They don't know what I prepped. It's supposed to be scary for everyone, including me. And it sucks. But I'm a huge wuss and I needed something to alleviate the pain. So I took my other idea, a comedy podcast, but I didn't really know what kind of jokes I should make it about. So I did improv comedy, tweaked it to fit my other idea, making fun of the horror stories as we go so I don't get too scared. And that was how Creep Cottage was born. So this way, this formula gets you original ideas. Copy, transform, combine. So now you know how to make an original idea, but here's a few more ways that can help separate you from the crowd. Focus on the emotions you want to convey in your art. I talked about this in my portraits episode. I mentioned that I tried to convey feelings of loneliness, something dreamy, contemplation, existentialism, and nostalgia is a really big one too. This really helped me narrow down my style even more, creating something more meaningful and interesting and personal. Now, I think this is a good time to bring in mediums, methods or stylistic choices to brand your image. Like an artist may use charcoal or another acrylic paint. Both make art, but very different vibes, different moods are created with each. So, if I talk about my mediums, paired with my desired emotional responses, then you should see a clear connection between the two as to why I prefer these mediums. I use a lot of mixed media, which means paper rips or plastic textures, something to show lots of media forms. I like to use dust or grain overlays to help give that feeling of nostalgia. I like to use bloom or halation in order to achieve that dreamy effect, that glow in my highlights. I like to use flash photography when I am in a dark room and I think it would be kind of cool to get this chilling with my friends in an old camera kind of vibe. Something that we probably would have done as kids. We had tons of like cameras laying around, just like little crappy flash cameras. So that also achieves a little nostalgia for me. I like to shoot people because I feel that it's easier to convey emotion with that. And a lot of my pictures are moody or dark to help convey that loneliness, that existentialism. These mediums allow me to draw the attention of my audience, to tap into their emotions easier. Nostalgia for people my age is like early 2000s, late 90s. So it makes sense that when I try to convey nostalgia, I use mixed media. I use these dust or grain overlays. Find mediums that make sense, that help emphasize the emotions you want in your image. So by following these 3 portions of growth, then you can find your style in no time, and hopefully have fun by losing yourself into your exploration. So those are my thoughts on creating your style, on branding yourself, on creating something that captures you, but also captures your audience, engages them, and elevate you away from your competition. So thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the end. I've been Oliver. If you guys liked this video or found it helpful, please hit the like button. If you guys like this kind of content, go ahead and hit subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. That way you're notified anytime we make more episodes. We're gonna be taking a chill break, just vlogging, just hanging out, just brushing up on our basics for the next couple of weeks, and then we'll jump into season 2, all about filmmaking. Thanks again for being awesome. I'll see you guys in the next episode of VideoChild. Peace out.